Hello. Hi. I'm doing it after so long. So, as promised, I'm here at 9 o'clock, and I have somebody joining in with me today who's very, very special. And uh, this is a person who is who thinks like a monk and who's written a book that has helped me a great deal these past. Oh, he's here. He's here. I don't know how do I double tap? Hi Chetali. I'm good. How do I see requests? Oh shit, I should have figured it out earlier. Request. Now let's see. He should be joining us soon. And I'm very, 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 very excited about. Hi!
Hey, how's it going?
How are you?
I'm so good. I'm so grateful to you. Thank
No,
you.
please stop saying that. I am so grateful that you're here. I cannot begin to tell you how excited and nervous I was about this chat, the live chat that we were going to do. And I'm telling you right away, I'm not very good at this. And all my friends also joining in. Hi Ashka, hi Surbhi, hi Chetali. And they're all a huge fan of what you say, what you do, the person that you are. So a few of my friends, when I told them that I'm going to be talking to you today, they all send you so much love, and you've helped your book, what you post on your Instagram. It helps everybody. It helps me and everybody around me a great deal. So thank you so much.
No, thank you. I feel all the love coming through the screen and from all your friends. So I feel your wonderful energy radiating across the screen. So genuinely, thank you so much. When I found out you were reading my book, it was such an honor. And then when you shared it and you shared your learnings and we were messaging back and forth and we started to connect, that there can be nothing more beautiful for an author. So I'm so deeply touched by your love and your ability to share it. I'm glad that we get to share it today. And you're doing great at
Yes.
this way. So do not worry.
Thank you so much. I've just come back from work. This is my team. It's not me, but thank you so much.
Of course. Well,
So,
I'm glad.
my friend, you have to say hello to Vanessa and Ashka and Ayan Mukherjee and Gunjan.
Okay, so I'm going to try and do that from my memory. Vanessa,
Ashka,
Ashika, hello. I hope you're well.
Ayan,
Ayan, I hope you're doing awesome.
Gunjan,
Gunjan, sending you my love.
and Chetali.
And Chetali, I hope you're really. I hope I get to see you all one day in person.
I hope so too, and I hope that I was. I didn't at that point of time. We were not really. I hadn't connected with you, and I didn't know how to. But in the month of March, I was going to come to LA, and I was finding ways to try and meet you. So I would have probably actually called Shamita and
Yeah.
said, yeah, she's a dear friend. So I would have asked her to connect me to you probably.
Yeah,
But then
absolutely.
the pandemic happened, and I think it is both, I don't know, curse and a purging for the most of us.
Yeah.
And in between all of that, you wrote this book, and so I'm going to dive right into it without
Sure.
much ado. So what I wanted to ask you first was that, more than often we always talk about, obviously there's a lot of awareness about mental health and depression and how to deal with it and how everybody should come out and talk about it. But what I wanted to ask you was that, when there's a heartbreak or, a family member or a close one passes away, obviously the sadness that you feel, the angst that you go through is a lot to handle. And it's very, very understandable when a person goes through the depressive feelings or the restlessness or the anxiety. But how to, apart from that, my question to you is how to not fall into depression. What can be done from, say, an early age to avoid it? Because we're always surrounded with these work insecurities and our personal issues, and we collect and sit on this pile of garbage every single day. That's how I feel like we treat our minds. We collect everything, like it's almost like collecting the entire garbage in your house and sitting right on top of it. So how do you kind of avoid doing that from an early age?
That's a really good question. And it's a proactive question in what can be.
How to not be depressed? Everybody talks about when you feel depressed, what you should do.
Yes. So one of the biggest things is that all of our adult challenges in life come from our childhood challenges. And so you're right in asking this question, because psychology talks about how as children, anything we experience, what we do or don't get from our parents becomes what we look for from the world. So if we never received validation from our parents, we look for validation in others. If we never received praise or connection from our family, then we look for praise and connection outside of us as we become adults. And so our whole life is seeking and chasing what we didn't experience as the childhood version of ourselves. So the beginning of that is to actually ask yourself, what is it in my life that I see myself craving from other people, chasing in other people, and how can I give that to myself first? How can I start with myself, and whatever I'm looking for, whether I'm looking for validation, whether I'm looking for praise, whether I'm looking for confidence, attraction, whatever it is, how can I first have that with myself? And that starts by actually spending time with ourselves. We're always running to spend time with other people. We're always running to be socially around other people, but we don't spend time with our own mind and body. And so the beginning of it is actually checking in once a week, being still and calm with yourself, even if it's for 5 minutes, and just taking a moment and saying, how do I feel today? How's my mind? How's my body? How's my heart today? What does my heart need today? What does my mind need today? When you have this conversation with yourself, and by the way, it's not crazy to do this, because we always ask other people, how are you doing today? But we never ask ourselves that question. So starting a conversation with yourself means that when you're on the verge of pressure, stress, whatever it may be, your mind and body have an opportunity to communicate with you how they feel. So those are some of the ways that in the beginning, and of course there are habits we can talk about as we develop this conversation, but the first principle at the root of all of it is we need to spend time with ourselves, and we need to give ourselves what we want everyone else to give us first.
That's so true. In fact, I was feeling like writing all the everything down, whatever you were talking about just now. But you know, when we asked that question, taking it from what you just said, when you ask all these questions, I feel like there's a sea deep within us, because, and more than often, those are those vices that you kind of get attached to, than the virtues. You know, it's very easy to feel sad and say, oh, a glass of wine would make me feel better. You never think of meditation, because last 8 months, that is something that I've been really, really trying to do every single day without fail. Okay, please say hi to Kathy. That's my friend, Russian friend Katya. She loves you.
Thank you so much. I'm sending you all so much love. I'm genuinely.
She's messaging saying I actually wrote it down with a laughing emoji. I knew it. This is like one family. So I am a very, very sticky person. I love my friends, and I hope they love me as well. So every time there's a full community thing going on. It's like one little mela and festival. You know how they celebrate in India. So it's usually like that. I feel like we get more attached to the vices than the virtue, and this is more for everybody who's here today and listening to you. And I have personally felt that initially, when I used to, like you had mentioned in your book as well, when I sit down and meditate, I used to cry every single time. Every part of my body used to say, open your eyes, open your eyes. This is bullshit. Meditation is not for everyone. Probably it's not, you're not made for this. So go about your day without actually going through this. And from then, a year back to now, I can actually meditate for an hour if I wanted to. And I feel good about it. But it's not just breathing. I mean, that's like a crutch of the chants, but I feel really good. So when I get a little restless, I start chanting, and then I stop it, and then I feel like my mind doesn't really want me to talk or do anything. It just wants me to sit calm. But most of my friends or people, so when I got to know yesterday that a few days back that we would be doing this, I started talking to like-minded people or friends who were either getting into reading the Bhagavad Gita, or starting meditation and stuff, everybody kind of said, you get attached to the vices more than the virtues. You've asked yourself to, you've given yourself permission to tell you what's wrong and what you need, but what you need is either sugar or binge watch a show or not get up from the blanket and just procrastinating. What do you do? Like, what is the first step that they should take to?
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, I want to say congratulations. That's amazing. That's an incredible achievement. I mean, to start off meditating, and like you said, the challenges that come with meditating, but the fact that you stayed the course and that now you've developed this amazing meditation practice, that's beautiful. So amazing. Congratulations.
I still don't know, okay, if it is right or wrong. I don't know that. I just know I can sit quietly. That's all I know.
If you feel that you're experiencing stillness and you feel that you are experiencing yourself, then that's amazing. And that's the best start. And then when we all hang out together with your community, we'll do some more together as well. Yes, you're so right. Whoever of your friends said that, we get more addicted to the vices than the virtues. What we have to start to do, and in the book, I call it spot, stop, swap. So this is really important because what most of us don't realize is there's a pattern in our negativity. There's a pattern in our feeling unfulfilled. There's a pattern in us feeling looking downwards on life, or feeling hurt or feeling pain. So the first thing we have to do is we have to spot, what places do I feel negative? Which people around which do I feel negative? Right? The places and people, and what projects am I doing when I feel negative? People, places, and projects are usually where we feel growth or where we can feel negativity. Now, that doesn't make someone negative. It doesn't make that place negative. It doesn't make that project negative. But for us at this current time in our life, we have to spot and become aware, where do I feel these things? The second thing we have to do is we have to stop and ask, is this how we want to live our life? Sometimes we can spend years around the same people who don't help us grow, but we never ask, why am I still doing this? Why do I still keep going to that club or that party? Or why am I still hanging around in this circle? Because we never reflect and we never introspect and check with ourselves, is this what I want? So we have to press pause and we have to say, is this what I really want? Am I experiencing what I want? And finally, we have to swap that with a better habit. So you have to replace a vice with a virtue. So it's spotting the vice, stopping and pausing, and then switching it for a virtue. And the only way you'll strengthen a virtue is if it becomes a daily habit. And that daily habit has to become your top priority. And you surround yourself with people that make you feel that way. And you will find these people often, they may not even be in your city, but they'll be online. Like today, I mean, we connected online, right? Like we didn't have the same friends. We have a few mutual friends, but we didn't have the same family. We don't have the same community, but we've connected because we have a similar value and a similar virtue. And I encourage everyone out there to look beyond the people around them, to also find that like-mindedness, and to not push away your family and friends, not to just leave them and, be critical of them. Love them for who they are, but allow yourself to still create the community that is powerful for your growth.
That's so true. Okay. I have written questions.
You're doing great. This is amazing.
Yeah. So, okay, yes, this is one thing that I also wanted to ask. This is for all my married friends who are living in marital bliss and everything, but they always ask, how do you manage? You manage to. This is a very funny friend of mine, Rupali. She's like my sister. Like, how do you manage to think and be like a monk in a marriage? Don't you, like, we all know Radhi is so beautiful, and she's just the probably perfect little being, but I'm sure both of you are humans, and you always also would have your own share of arguments and fights. And how are you like a monk think like a monk in a wedding, in a marriage?
That's a great question. First of all, hello Rupali. And yes, Radhi and I completely are human. And actually, we spent so much time in our first years of marriage. So we've been together now for 7 years. We've been married for 4 years. And I've known of her and known of each other for about 11 years now. So it's been a long span of time. And our first few years of marriage, probably our first 2 years of marriage, were some of the most difficult years in our relationship. And the reason was because when you live with someone who comes from a different background, different parenting, different standards, even if you have the same higher values, if your daily compatibility has not been created, has not been built. And I think this is the part where couples and relationships go wrong. And I'll come to the think like a monk part. I think that's a great question. The interesting thing here is that we expect that if you love someone, that you know how to live with them. Just think about that, Vote. You expect that if you love someone, you know how to live with them, but actually that there's no correlation there. If you love someone, you have to learn how to live with them.
That's so true.
And that's the part that we all miss. We all skip that. We think we go from love to living together. It doesn't work like that. So we spent the first 2 years of our marriage having disagreements, arguing, having discussions, figuring things out, communicating, sometimes communicating badly. And then what we could do is some people go backwards and they go, oh, that means we don't love each other. That's not true. It's just you never learned to live with that person. And that counts for anyone, by the way. If you move in with a friend, if you move in with one of your brothers or sisters or family member, it will be the same thing. And love cannot be used as a substitute for learning. Love cannot be used as a substitute for developing the skills of how to live with someone. So how do I think like a monk in my relationship? In the beginning, I actually got it wrong. So in the beginning, I made a big mistake. I was very detached from my relationship. And that actually is not thinking like a monk. It's thinking like an irresponsible man. That's what it is, right? And so I was very detached and I made the mistake. I would make Radhi feel that I was still completely happy being detached and that, I could live alone and it didn't really matter. And it wasn't that feeling. And I realized that doesn't build a marriage, that now that I've chosen to be a married man, I have to transform parts of that self. And what I realized is that thinking like a monk in a marriage means to be neutral, first of all. Neutral in the sense of when there is an argument or a discussion, to keep my steady-mindedness, to keep the challenge of being equipoised. The key to do this is when you're arguing with someone, you feel like you're arguing with them. Whereas when a monk mindset comes in, you are now watching the argument as an observer, as an outside mind, and you're able to see, oh, actually, Jay, you're wrong in this argument. Oh, actually, Jay, you need to improve this. And Radhi is understanding this from you and you're not communicating clearly. So as soon as you shift into the monk mindset, you're now observing the argument as opposed to thinking you are in the argument. And so that mindset is so powerful because half the time in a relationship, we're just fighting for our egos. And so the monk mindset allows you to take out your ego, look at it from a different perspective, and then approach the same problem. So in so many times in my relationship, I'm able to rise above my ego at times. Sometimes I fail to my ego all the time as well. But the monk mindset allows me to rise above my ego so that I can actually do what's right for me and Radhi, as opposed to just keep fighting with her. And there's many ways that...
You have mentioned it in your book also. I think it's the same with all the negative emotions that we feel. You're supposed to treat it also as well like that. Like say, for example, in the chapter Fear, you spoke about how fear is just an entity. It's like a guest and you should treat it like that. That it's there and you kind of acknowledge it that it's there, but don't really act upon it. Can you elaborate?
Yeah,
that as well, a little bit, please.
You explained it wonderfully. You're completely on the right. Exactly what you said, that the challenge is that we look at everything as us. So we say things like, I'm in pain, like I'm stressed, but you are not stressed. You are feeling stressed. It's a feeling, it's an emotion, but you are not that. You are you, but you are feeling stressed. You're experiencing stress, right? When you say, I am cold, your body's getting colder, but you are feeling colder. It's a feeling, it's an emotion. It can be changed because then when you put a coat on, you feel warm. So it's just a feeling. It's not that you are cold or you are warm. It's just for that instant state. And so when you observe yourself in that way, when you become an observer of life, you start to realize that you are not wrong or right. There is just a discussion happening here. And actually, we should be looking towards the same goal. And so the monk mindset really allows me to stop fighting for my ego and start really living for what is right for both of us. And that really makes a difference. And I want to ask you some questions as well. You've been doing such a wonderful job asking me so many questions. I want to ask you as well. And you can ask more, but what I've been inspired by you, and I really mean this, inspired by you, and many of my friends as well have discussed that when we noticed that you shared my book, and I was sharing with people the beautiful review that you wrote of my book on your page, and I was so touched and so humbled, and I was sharing it with some friends, and they were following you, and we were talking about you. We're so inspired by your deep study, like your desire to deeply study, not just read, not just post an Instagram quote or a caption, but that you're so deeply studying the Bhagavad Gita. You studied my book. You were saying that you were making notes and highlighting. And I just want to say that the way you are approaching study and growth is admirable, and it's an inspiration. And I really hope that anyone who follows you and connects with you learns this wonderful skill from you. So first of all, thank you. And but actually the food is doing so much, and spiritual wisdom is the same, that when you're feeding yourself it, you may think, oh, this is nice, but how is this helping? But actually it's nourishing your soul. And so what you described there is wonderful, and it's true. It's already working in the background without you knowing, or without me knowing. So
this was so nice.
This was such a great start to my...
So good doing this.
This is the first thing I've done today. I hope we get to do many, many more. I'm grateful that you stayed up late after work to do this, after a busy day.
Please don't say all that, really.
It's true though, it's true.
No, I was really looking forward to doing this, and I'm so glad that we both could find time to do this. And yeah.
No, I'm honestly...
I look forward to many more conversations with you, and I'm going to write to you now. Please be ready to receive some messages whenever I face something in my life, when I have questions that I feel confused with. I'm going to disturb you and ask for a...
You can reach out to me anytime. And I want to give my love to all your friends again that you mentioned before.
Thank you. Say hi to Betu also, Betali.
Betani? Am I saying that right?
Betaliki.
Betaliki.
It's a Bengali name. Yeah.
Betaliki. Wonderful. What a beautiful name. Yeah. Hello to you. Sending you all my love. And I'm honestly so excited to meet you all when I can visit India. So thank you. Thank you
so much. You have a wonderful day.
Yeah,
wonderful. So much.
Yeah, thank you.
All my love and regards.
Yeah,
bye.
Thank you so much. Bye. And save this. I want to share it too. So save it for me.
Sorry.
Oh, no, I was just saying save it for me, because I want to share this as well. So you can save it for me so I can share it.
Yeah, me too. Okay, before you go, how do I save it? What do I do now?
We'll ask you to either save it or share it. You can save it and share it. So it will ask 3 questions. So just don't cross that off.
Okay.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.